Yo, what do you need, bro?
Bro, what the hell are you doing here?
You don't have to finish your search request, I'm already here.
What?
After tracking down your IP address and seeing that you were located in Germany and you had best in your search bar, then let's not kid ourselves. You only had one thing in mind, right?
Why would you
In
think?
fact, here's one of our latest rankings, which was published by Times Higher Education.
I was literally
which
just
clearly
typing
states
what's
that we're
the
amongst
best
Europe's
restaurant.
best technical universities. And if you look closer, then we've made it to top 4. And if you look even closer, then this has been the 5th time.
Okay, bro, I think it's time for you to leave. Like,
But wait, I still didn't tell you about the other rankings that was posted like a week ago. Alright, if I ever need anything about you, I'll let you know, okay? Can you just like wait for 1 sec? Okay, alright. Remember, bro, if you ever need me, topuniversities.com or QS World Rankings, we're always number 1. Tell your father, mother, everyone.
thank God he's gone.
Yo, did you hear about all our Nobel Prize winners? So if you've searched for universities in Germany, you most likely heard of TUM. And just like the stereotype about how can you tell if someone's a pilot or how can you tell if someone's vegan, the same thing applies to TUM in regards to how can you tell that they're one of the best. Don't worry, they will tell you. In fact, they have a dedicated website on their homepage to display all their major accomplishments, all the rankings they've been a part of, and basically the recognition they've got over time. And I mean, in this day and age, it's kind of essential in order to compete with others. Pretty sure a lot of other universities have that as well, but I don't know what it is about TUM exactly, whether it's their marketing or advertising strategy. One way or another, they let you know that they're one of the best. In fact, because of its heavy usage, the word excellence has gained a completely different meaning at this university. And at this point, I feel like people just look at TUM and are like, damn, TUM kinda thick. In fact, I've heard this from students at the LMO, which is basically like the rival university here in Munich, saying that if you're good at something, then you don't have to constantly talk about it. And to be fair, they kind of do have a point, but still, TUM is excellent. Nothing can change that. TUM also calls itself the entrepreneurial entrepreneurial. Yo, who invented this word? I'm gonna say entrepreneurial 50 times before I go to sleep every day. Entrepreneurial. Why would you put that as the slogan of your university? But all jokes aside, you have to give a lot of credit to TUM because it's very innovative in the sense that a lot of startups have originated from this university. And there's actually a website listing all those different startups. So yeah, I'll leave that down in the description as well if you're interested. But anyways, let's answer the question of whether TUM is actually the best university in Germany. First of all, it's key to note that different organizations weigh and use different factors in their rankings. For example, here with Times Higher Education, you can see that their methodology is basically teaching is accounted to 30%, research also 30%, citations 30%, and so on. Now this is super vital to understand when looking at rankings, simply because you have to know what factors they used and how much weight each one has been given. This is why on 2 different rankings, a university might be placed at different spots. And as a student, I think one of the most important factors are the quality of education that you're getting. And second is if you want to work for a company later on, which I think is the majority of students, or at least a big chunk of them, then you also want to know how the employers view your university. So in terms of the employer's perspective, I'm going to link all those websites in the description, by the way, but TUM usually ranked mostly number 1, sometimes number 2. And I think a lot of it has to do with their tight connections to the industry. Like a lot of big companies like BMW or Siemens originated here in Munich. And on top of that, it also mentions how the TUM develops over 100 inventions for industrial or commercial applications every year. But what I really want to bring to your attention is that just because a university ranks generally high in a lot of rankings, doesn't mean that every single major and program from that university is like the best quality that you can get. I just realized that this closet has been open this whole time. And I think a lot of people would agree with me on this point, because obviously universities kind of specialize in different fields. Like you have universities that are known to be good in medicine, others in law, and like the technical universities in Germany, like the TU9s, which is basically like a group of all the 9 technical universities here in Germany. Well, they unsurprisingly specialize in engineering and sciences. In fact, from this article, you can see that TUM managed to get the 28th spot in engineering and technology, in addition to its outstanding 9th position in computer science. And all the other rankings from 8 to 1, they're not universities in Germany. In fact, no other technical university in Germany is in the top 25. So you might make the assumption that the best place to study computer science in Germany is TUM, but as you can see from this Wirtschaftswoche article, which by the way was presented to us during one of the lectures, which shows you the rankings of majors and programs amongst different universities, and just between German universities, by the way, so this is kind of like an inter-Germany comparison. Also, I forgot to mention, in case you haven't landed here because of my previous video, I actually study at TUM, so this isn't me being biased and trying to show you that it is the best, but I also don't want to badmouth it and take away from its credibility. I'm simply here to share my opinion and spread some facts. Anyways, coming back to this article, if you look up computer science majors like here for example, you can see that TUM is actually third and there are 2 other German universities ranked higher, and this is what I study. And if you don't speak German, then you might think that word looks freakish for a major, but it's actually composed of 2 words, Wirtschaft and Informatik. Wirtschaft has actually 13 meanings, so there's no like one precise translation. But if I was to sum it up, basically like business and economics, and informatics, obviously informatics, which is pretty similar to computer science. I know some people argue about the terminology, but it's not the time for it. And so yeah, the fact that they showed us this in the 2nd week when I started studying at TUM just goes to show that they're not trying to discredit and demote other German universities. In fact, I believe they all have like great connections, especially the TU9 group. Like even in lectures, sometimes we take past papers or examples from other German universities. And even when I talked to my brother about the material that we had and we started kind of comparing, he studies at the Technical University in Berlin. I'm not sure if they say TUB, kind of doesn't roll off the tongue quite nice. TUB, TUM. That's like way nicer, but like TUB. Do they call the Technical University of Berlin TUB? And so yeah, sorry, I keep sidetracking, but basically when we do compare, it's pretty much very similar topics and courses. So yeah, regardless which technical university you go to, if you're planning to study computer science in Germany, or if you went to the number 5 ranked university for your subject instead of the number 1, it shouldn't really matter because, as I've discussed, the word best depends on a lot of various factors, which you can like cherry pick, you know, to get the outcome that you want. I have to admit, I was guilty of the exact same thing when I was applying to university. So I wish I could have seen a video like this, because I realized no matter where I went, it would be quite similar in terms of academics. So yeah, this isn't just for students who are applying to universities. It could be anything in life really, whether it's a job, an opportunity, a relationship, whatever the case may be. My simple advice is strive for what you want, but if you don't get it, then you know, it's not the end of the world. So yeah, don't get too caught up in this whole process, and whether you believe that everything happens for a reason or not, that's up to you. But what we can unanimously agree on and believe in is pressing that like button. So yeah, on top of what I showed you, and I didn't want to make this video too long, but you can research a lot more about this topic. So as you can see, it's not a simple yes or no answer, and I might make future videos briefly discussing what I studied, etc., so that you can compare yourself. Yeah, I don't know how to end these videos as well, so I'm just gonna cut it at this exact second.